Hello class and welcome back to another segment or episode, if you want to call it that, of Sketch Science. Today we're talking about the Milky Way, or just galaxies in general. The Milky Way happens to be ours. So when people ask you, hey, what galaxy are you from in the late future when somehow we can go from galaxy to galaxy, you can tell them the Milky Way. So we're going to move to, first, what is a galaxy? What is a galaxy? Well, the term for galaxy stands for a collection of stars, gas, and dust held together by gravity. So, collection of stars, gas, dust, all held together by gravity. It's like a pocket of the universe. And that's the other word I want to get to because a lot of people confuse galaxy, solar system, universe. A lot of people mix those words up. The galaxy is the collection of all those stars. So when you look out in the night sky, you'll see a bunch of stars up there. A lot of them that you see, especially the ones you can see, are inside of our galaxy, our little pocket of the universe. Now, since we talked about what a galaxy was, we need to move on. What is a universe? Or what is the universe? Because there's only one. The universe. Uni means one. There's one of them. Universe. That is all space. And the matter in it. It is everything. Everything you've ever seen, touched, believed, all of it is inside of the universe. The universe is all. It is everything. It is all-encompassing. All of space. So when you look out into the sky, it goes on forever. And no matter how far you would go into that sky, however far you went into that forever, you'd still be in the universe. The universe never ends. It is on forever. And all things inside of it are all part of it. The stars you see in the sky are part of the universe. Because are the stars part of that endless sky? Yes. All the things in the sky? Yes. Are we part of the universe? Yes. Everything is part of the universe. The universe is all. There's only one universe, and it is everything. Meanwhile, galaxies, we don't even know how many galaxies could be there. There could be endless amounts of those as well. Galaxies are little pockets of that universe. So, we start from big to small. So the universe is all. Imagine it would be this whole page and on forever out into the sides of it. The universe is everything. Galaxies are little pockets of that universe. Each of these pockets, they can be different sizes, but those are galaxies. It's all these stars inside of this, and they have different shapes. I'm just showing you that they are pockets of stars. There would be billions upon billions of stars in each of these pockets. Each of these pockets would have billions and billions. They're all held together by gravity. Those are galaxies. And around each of these stars, so if you were to zoom in on this galaxy over here, so if I were to erase all this, and you were to take one star from inside this little galaxy over here, you take this one star and you blow it up. Around it, so here's your star in the center, around it you would have planets and different things orbiting it. That's a solar system, is your star in the middle and the little planets going around it. That's a solar system. So you started at universe, then you had galaxy, that pocket of the universe, and then you had solar system. So solar system is a pocket of the galaxy. So if the galaxy is the pocket of the universe, the solar system is a pocket of the galaxy. It's a pocket inside a pocket. And when you think about like Earth or our solar system, Earth is kind of its own little pocket because it has life and stuff on it. But each planet could have an orbit, but each planet's individual orbits with moons aren't really counted as a special thing. It's just a planet with a moon. But yes, you start at universe, the biggest thing. Then your galaxies are pockets. You have galaxy clusters, which are like groups of those, so it's like a pocket, 4 pockets. But in this case, we're just doing universe. A pocket of that is a galaxy, and in the galaxy, stars have solar systems around them as well. So you start big, you go a little bit smaller, and then finally the solar system, the thing going around the stars. Now, what does that matter for the Milky Way? Well, the Milky Way is our galaxy. And if you were to look up, if you were to lay on the ground in the night sky, so if you were just laying down on the ground, just chilling out, looking up at the night sky, if there was no lights on, so if you were out in the middle of nowhere and it was completely dark and all you were doing were looking up at the night sky, like our ancestors did way back when, before they had all the electricity we have now, there would be a fantastic thing in the sky. It would look almost like a stripe going across of stars. A stripe of stars going across the sky. So you'd have all of your stars in the night sky like normal, but in the middle, across the sky, is this big, bright stripe. That's why our galaxy's called the Milky Way. Way back in the ancient times, they didn't know what it was. Some of them thought it was the gods had spilled milk across the heavens. Or some thought maybe it was the river to the afterlife that souls went to after they died. They went up into that river in the sky to be carried on to the afterlife. They didn't know that it was clusters of stars in our galaxy all clumped together like that, because as we got more information, we could see those individual stars and people looked into it. And how did we know it was our galaxy, or how does that help us find our galaxy's shape looking at this? Well, that's what we're going to jump into. So yes, you look from the ground up, you see that, and year round you could see that on Earth. The Milky Way can be seen all year, which has one special meaning. And that meaning is that we are inside of the Milky Way. Because if you only saw that part of the year, then we'd be kind of on the outer edge. But since we can see this stripe year-round, or we can see a Milky Way stripe year-round, that means that we must be inside the Milky Way. We can't be outside, because otherwise we'd only see it part of the year. So, when we go forward from this, if you think about a tire, like a bike wheel, if you were looking at a bike tire, how we know we're on the inside is because if you take this bike tire and you turn it sideways, like you turn it 90 degrees to the side, you would see it like this. That tire becomes flat. So if you turn that tire 90 degrees, it would turn into this. That's kind of like what we see. Like we see a stripe across the night sky. That means we must be equal to the center of it. If it was flat, like a tire, like a disc, that is the only explanation for why it's a stripe and not just a giant globe around us. It must be disc-shaped. That's why it's like a tire. We are on the plane where we can see that it's flat like this. It's a stripe. Then how we know it's inside, how we know we're not on the outside, how we know we're like right here on it. So like the whole "you are here" thing on a map. We know we're kind of there because year-round we can see, or in some parts of the year we see this part over here. Some parts we see this. Our vision goes off into these directions. That's why we can see that stripe year-round. We can see this stripe over here no matter what time of year it is, and that means that we are inside. If we only saw this stripe part of the year, then we would be over here. We would be over here if we only saw, because then we'd be looking and only parts of the year we could see this stripe. So we know we're inside because we see the stripe year-round, and we know it's this disc shape because it's flat, because we're inside of it looking out at the tire. So if you were inside a bike tire looking out, you'd see that little metal rim and then the rubber, that stripe. That's what we're seeing. That is us in the Milky Way. That's how we know it's a disc shape. And there's other ways. We know we're on the outer rim. So if you were to look at the Milky Way, it would be kind of like this shape. And as you go further out, it spreads out. But in the middle, it's more dense. And we are kind of more towards this end of it. We're kind of more out here. How do we know that? Well, certain times a year, we see a much thicker cluster, a much brighter cluster of stars towards one direction, which would be us looking from here to the inside. When we're at that time of year where we're looking towards the inside at night, there's a bigger cloud in the Milky Way, whereas sometimes it's much fainter. We're looking out here. So we know we're definitely not in the center. There would be a lot more gravity stuff. There would be a lot closer stars if we were towards the center too, because if you think about, like when we talked about the solar system forming, as it went, the lighter stuff got tossed further out as it spun around, because it's like you're sitting on a merry-go-round, and if you let go of that merry-go-round, you're going to go flying a certain distance because of the force from you spinning around so fast. It's the same thing here. The closer you are, the more you'd be spinning and the more objects there would be. If you notice, our stars are pretty far away in our galaxy. If we were more towards the center, they'd be a lot closer. So we started bigger with the universe, then we talked about our pockets, our galaxies, compared that to our solar systems, and now we talked about ours. Ours is the Milky Way. It was named because that big milky stripe in the sky you can see that not everyone can see nowadays because of all the technology and light pollution. But once upon a time, they saw that every night. And people would look up at the stars and they'd wonder what it was. They'd come up with these fantastic theories about it being milk of the gods spilled, the river to the afterlife, even more crazy ideas than that. Now we know it's just our galaxy that we can see. It's those stripes and stars. But it still has meaning to us because it's our galaxy. It's our pocket of the universe we get to live in. And our solar system's the pocket of that pocket we get to live in. And us and our moon are our own little pocket of that solar system, if you think about it. And our planet itself is a pocket of that. Your country is a pocket of that. Your state or your province or your city is a pocket of that. Everything is a pocket. You can go all the way out in the universe on forever, but all of that gets condensed into smaller and smaller pockets until you finally get to just you. And if you were to look over at one of my other videos I just put out about an ecosystem, where we start small. You start at the one individual, a single person, a single animal, a single plant, a single person. You would start at one, and you'd work your way up. When you talk about space, you have to talk about all of space, the whole universe, and work your way down. So one is working its way up, one's working its way down. That's how it's better to take that to kind of compress it. So if you have any questions about our Milky Way or a little bit more in depth you'd like to go into, because today I just kind of talked about what a galaxy is, what the universe is, how that compares to what our solar system is. And then what shape is our galaxy? How do we know what shape it is? If you'd like to hear any more about that, please leave a comment down below. And if you're feeling like the video, even if you were kind of indifferent about it, the like will help you find the video quicker. And finally, subscribe. That way you won't miss any more videos. And if you do ask in a comment like what type of video you might want to watch, if I do upload it, you'll be able to see it a lot easier. So I just ask that you do these 3 things for me, and I will see you next time.